She first told me I was way too special when I met her on the metro. Got all of her numericals, made an X to a decimal. Letters wrote back and forth, proclaimed she more than edible. Thinking on a forever flow, saying her ex should let her go. We disconnected sometime when I was set to blow up along an international tour on a pedestal where she should have been, but ended up in a hetero relationship that got rocky when she claimed she was bisexual. A man wasn't a fan of what God put in the plans. His friends hyped them ants so she couldn't understand how they went from holding hands to a fist that got revamped into the side of her face. Tell her friend she got a bad tan on the beach. Went from babe to calling a bitch. And soon it switched from little bruises up to a stitch. And he bust clips, so she wasn't going up and dip. Besides, she was in love and wasn't calling it quits. That's the funny thing about love. You learn to roll with the punches. But it ain't funny when you swallowing picket fences for teeth and you calling at your lunches. Hoping that it'll work out like crunches, wishing you hadn't messed with your other half's temper, but you still think you a winner. Your friends telling you to reconsider what you went to, but every time that point comes, you stuck in the middle. She always told me he was overly aggressive, half-past possessive, somewhere in obsession, checking all the Facebook messages, and she was always stressing since this more chick that he messed with and was dirty as he even tried to dig on out her best friend. She was always down, much more like an oath. He was open for every female, his fist kept her close, they kept her closed. Apologies when clothes were removed, sometimes it felt like he's sexing out a stove, self-esteem getting lower than the names he started to call her. One day she got the balls to tell him she'd leave if he stole her again, packed the bags and got ready to banana split. He pulled out a holder for the banana clip, slammed the piece right into her forehead. Told her if she wanted to leave, go ahead, the casket or holder after the flow's read. By then, she got the bigger picture when she reconsidered that maybe he wouldn't be so easy to get rid of. That's the funny thing about love. You learn to roll with the punches. But it ain't funny when you swallowing picket fences for teeth and you calling at your lunches. You hoping it'll work out like crunches, wishing you hadn't messed with your other half temper, but you still think you a winner. Your friends telling you to reconsider what you went to, but every time that point comes, you stuck in the middle. She said I was her long lost guardian, cause every time we spoke, when she felt so broke, I put the beat back in her heart again. Guessing it was harder when she told me about that argument they had about their chick they both saw in the supermarket and how she was bad as hell. They both dropped drawers. Her boyfriend Pete, they got a little lockjaw. Handled it kinda nice till they got to the house door. The insecure bastard was spazzing, he had to pop off, started welling on her. Then told her to make him lunch, easy enough, last straw, she plotting for munch. She mixed a little this and that, fed him the plate and just sat back, he passed out, she gasoline him, and before she left, lit the match, so now she telling me this, up in my visit to her. In my mind, I'm wishing I had interfered sooner, but I didn't, and now cell blocks are part of her plan, and I'm just sitting back thinking like, damn, cause that's the funny thing about love, you learn to roll with the punches. But it ain't funny when you swallowing picket fences for teeth and you calling at your lunches. Hoping that it'll work out like crunches, wishing you hadn't messed with your other's half temper, but you still think you a winner. Your friends telling you to reconsider what you went to, but every time that point comes, you're stuck in the middle.